this video is my long-awaited video, and this is going to be about my labor, my recovery, delivery, all that into one. And I'm also going to tell you guys why my baby is a miracle baby. So if you guys want to know my story and know how my recovery and delivery went and want to know why my baby is such a miracle baby, then just keep on watching. I'm actually in his room right now, and I thought what better way than doing it in his own room. He's not in the crib right now. He's actually sleeping in my room with his dad. So yeah, I feel like if I was going to be too loud, then he was going to wake up in the lights. So I just decided for him to sleep in my room. So I don't even know where to begin. It's just all so crazy. I waited, my baby is now 2 months, and I waited a while to do this video because I felt I get really emotional when I talk about this, and I feel like now that I've had some time, you know, that I can talk about it a little bit more without crying. But don't mark my words, I'm sure I'm gonna cry in this video. So yeah, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little bit about journey, I guess you can say. My journey being pregnant, it wasn't the best. It wasn't, I was sick all the time, and those of you who personally know me know how sick I was. I mean, I was throwing up from day to night. I couldn't really eat a lot of things. I was always nauseous. I had headaches. It didn't go so well, and it wasn't fun. But yeah, so towards the end of my pregnancy, I want to say it was about a month or a little bit more than a month. I started to feel very sick in my last month of, pregnancy. And I was induced. When I was 38 weeks. And we'll go into that in a little bit. But towards the end, I was feeling very, very sick. And things started happening to me that weren't, I feel like, were normal. So I, started to get, I was feeling nauseous all the time. I was still very throwing up, but I started to get headaches, really, really bad headaches, to the point where my head was throbbing in the front, and I just didn't really feel that well. I thought it was normal. I thought it was just part of pregnancy. And then I started to notice that my vision started to get very blurry. And that's when I kind of thought something was a little bit wrong, just because I have very, very good vision, and I would be at the stores, I'd be somewhere out, and I couldn't really see people's faces, like they were blurry to me. So even then, I didn't really say anything. And then for the doctor, everything was normal. Well, like I said, towards the end, when I was going in, I started to get really high blood pressure. And my blood pressure was really high, and I didn't know why. Everything was fine throughout my pregnancy until this last month. So I originally was going to deliver at San Joaquin Hospital here in Stockton, and my blood pressure was really high, and my mom thought that that wasn't normal. People around me didn't think that that was normal. And I'm trying to think when was the first time when I went, because you guys, I was in and out the hospital towards the last month a lot. But I ended up going in. Yeah, it was because of my blood pressure. Yeah, so I went in, and to cut the story short, I went to San Joaquin 3 times, guys, 3 times. And, just to monitor the baby, just to make sure everything was fine, just because my blood pressure was really high. So it took blood out and everything was fine. They tested me. And even though my blood pressure was really high, they were still sending me home. And my dad and my mom thought that it was weird that they would send me home with my blood pressure being so high, just because that's really dangerous for the baby. So, I ended up going home, ultrasound that I had to get done, and I ended up going with a doctor here in Stockton, and he's part of St. Joseph's Hospital. And, he just did the ultrasound, making sure everything was fine. And then, he got my blood pressure. And this isn't my doctor. I just had to go with him through this ultrasound. I don't want to go too much into detail, but because then this video is going to be super long. But he wasn't my main doctor. So he saw that my blood pressure was really high, and immediately he said, you know, like, why is your blood pressure high? Like, you know, what's going on? I said, oh, well, maybe it's high because I didn't really get enough sleep last night. You know, I'm constantly throwing up. And he looked at me and he was like, why are you throwing up? Like, why? And I was like, I don't know. You know, I have really bad headaches. And he started telling me like, wait, just hold on. And then my mom, actually, she was with me and she actually started saying, like, you know what? She actually went to San Joaquin Hospital a couple times and because of her high blood pressure, and, you know, they didn't do anything. You know, she explained it all to him and he said, you have preeclampsia. You have preeclampsia and I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they would send you home, but you need to deliver this baby immediately because all the signs that you're telling me, you have it. And, you know, he scared me when he told me that, you know, my baby wasn't safe. And he was like, it doesn't matter if they tested you. It doesn't matter. Sometimes tests are never accurate. So basically what they're saying is they're waiting for something to happen to your baby. They're waiting for something to happen. You know, they don't want to bring you in. They don't want to take you in. You know, this is really dangerous. You can't have high blood pressure. Why would they even send you home? It just, you know, sounds to me like they don't care. And he told me, you know what, like, I suggest you don't deliver here because I don't know why they would send you home. If you were under my care or even Loden Memorial, they would have taken you in right away. So when he told me that, he scared me, guys. I was really scared and I was, you know, thinking like, what the heck? Like, I thought, man, I'm going to deliver this baby. Like, I'm going to deliver this baby right now. So fast forward, I ended up, you know, going to the hospital and they did test again and, San Joaquin again, and telling them, you know, like what they said, and they basically told me to go home. You know, that the test, they can't do anything if the tests were, you know, coming out okay. So fast forward, I didn't even end up having the baby right then and there, you know, like fast forward, and it was my doctor visit. I went to my doctor visit in Lodi. We went and my blood pressure was high again. This is my main doctor, and just to cut the story short, that's when everything started. So I went to the hospital and they did not even want to keep me yet. But my mom was like, no, like something is wrong. The baby's getting too big. You know, my baby at that point was 8 pounds, supposedly. And my mom was, you know, telling them, and my mom called actually the doctor that I had went to see at St. Joseph's and, you know, told him everything. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, call over the doctors over there. She needs to go to the hospital immediately. Her blood pressure is super high and I'm going to go ahead and fax over, blah, blah, blah. And they need to do a stress test on the baby and she needs to stay there. So we did the stress test. Everything was fine. Everything was normal. And then the doctor that was working there at the hospital, she ended up coming in. So you guys, I didn't deliver at San Joaquin. I decided not to do that. I decided to stay with Loden Memorial just so I could be under the right care because I felt like San Joaquin didn't really care. And the doctor comes in and she tells me, okay, so you're going to have your baby. We're going to induce you. And, you know, I did not want to get induced, guys. I really didn't. But I just felt like I was so scared. I immediately started crying because I just wanted everything to go well and I didn't want to force anything. And, you know, she told me that I had to hurry up and we had to get this baby out because, you know, the baby was fine, but we didn't want to wait until something was going to happen to the baby because, you know, me having high blood pressure was really dangerous for my baby. And so that's when it started, guys. So I was in labor for 48 hours and it was not fun. It was not fun at all. You know, they started my process and we were there for days. Even after giving birth, I was there for days. And it's not what I expected. It's not what I expected. You know, I would say that the whole process of, you know, me being in labor, it wasn't super bad. It got bad when it was towards the end. So, you know, I was feeling the contractions. They did everything they could to try to induce me. I wasn't opening up and then I started getting contractions, and you know, I felt like they were like strong, but I felt like I can handle it. And you know, the nurses told me, yes, I got an epidural, and I wasn't going to go without an epidural. I for sure knew I wanted to get one because I didn't want to go through that pain. And I feel like I was getting really like bad contractions, but I felt like I could tolerate it. And the nurses encouraged me, like, you know what, you need to get your epidural, because even though you're saying that you can tolerate it, I see when you get it, the way you move and how you're facing, you're in pain. And when you get the epidural, you cannot move, you know, like, because you could get paralyzed. And I would just encourage you to do it now. And plus, you're not opening up. You guys, I stayed 1 centimeter for so long. It's not even funny. But once I got the epidural, I started to open up more and more and more. And it was just crazy, the journey that I had at that hospital, because I feel like I live there. And so towards the end, yeah, and I just ended up, I remember resting. I wasn't really getting a lot of rest, and I just remember I was resting, and they would come in and check me. I wouldn't even feel it, guys, because like the epidural like was so strong. And I just remember sleeping, and I remember them checking me and them telling me, like, you're at 10 centimeters. You're at 10, it's time to start pushing. Guys, it's just because it's just thinking about this moment, it's just crazy. I literally, I felt like it was yesterday. So, you know, they tell me, you know, it's time to start pushing, and I just remember thinking, I can't believe it's time, like, it's time. So, you know, everything, the doctors, everyone gets ready, and, you know, my mom was there, my sister was there, and my boyfriend, and I just remember bits and pieces, because honestly, it was a blur to me. And at that time, the epidural, I feel like already wore off. Like, I could feel certain things, and the doctor was there, and it was like, it's time to deliver, like, let's get this baby out. And you guys, I pushed for 4 hours. 4 hours. I didn't even know that I pushed for that long, and normally they don't even let you push for that long. Normally within almost 2 hours they give you C-section, and they let me push for that long. I'll go into detail about what happened of all that, but I just remember when I was pushing, I pushed for the life of me, and I couldn't get the baby out. I couldn't get the baby out. I couldn't. I don't know what was wrong. Like, I was just thinking, like, man, I'm not strong enough. Like, I can't, you know, do this. Like, I can't. Like, you know, I kept trying and trying, guys, and I felt everything. I felt everything. I felt when his head was down there. I felt like literally everything. I felt my baby come out of me. I feel like I was not even numb down there at that point. And I just remember pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and I couldn't get him out. And I remember feeling like, you guys may think I'm over exaggerating, but I felt like I was gonna die. Like, I felt like I'm gonna die right now. I'm gonna pass away right now. Like, something's gonna happen, because I can't, my body's not strong enough to get this baby out. And I just remember wanting to faint, and it was just a horrible feeling. We tried so many things to try to get this baby out, so many movements, just so many things that you could think of. And I just remember the last hour, I just remember it was towards the end already, and the doctor said, you know what, like, this is it, like, we're gonna try a couple more times, and if not, we're gonna have to, you know, give her C-section. I just remember hearing that, and I just remember hearing that, and I remember laying down. And if you guys do not know the song Ocean from Karol G, you guys should definitely listen to it. It's a beautiful song, and from the first time I heard this song, I knew what I dedicated it to my baby. My baby was always listening to the song even before my baby was born. And I just remember, you know, hearing that, and I just remember telling my mom or telling my sister, I don't remember who it was that was around me. I just remember saying, you know what, play the song Ocean, play it, I need to hear it, and I'm gonna I felt like I already had gave him my all, but I thought to myself, like, I'm literally gonna give this my all. I'm gonna push for the life of me. Like, I just kept telling myself, I just kept picturing my baby, and I just kept telling myself, I can do this. Like, I can do this, I can do this. And, you know, I just heard the lyrics to the song, and I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I pushed for the life of me, you guys. And my baby came out. Took me 4 hours, but my baby came out. And if you guys heard that, my baby was actually crying. He woke up from his nap and he wanted to eat, so mommy had to go feed him. So where was I? And he's actually in the room with me. He's actually on his little bouncer right now, so if you guys hear him or hear vibration, it's his swing. And also the heater is like super loud in his room, so I'm sorry, don't mind that. So yeah, guys, when I finally was able to, do you guys hear him? He's a talker. I finally was able to get him out, and I just remember them placing him on me, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a dream come true, guys. It didn't hit me. Like, I just couldn't believe it that I was able to get him out and baby was finally here. And at that time, you know, like, I felt no pain no more at that time. You know, I was just so infatuated with him, and I couldn't believe that I was strong enough to get him out. And it was the best, guys. It was the best, regardless of what I went through. And even after my recovery, you know, I would do it all over again if I could, you know, if it means that I would have him. And after, you know, fast forwarding with, you know, after I delivered and all that, that's when everything kind of started, where my body started to feel in a lot of pain. My body felt in so much pain. When I tell you that it felt like I got run over by a bus, I'm not playing. Like, that's what it felt like. And my body went through a lot because I was pushing for so long. So basically, my body hurt really, really bad, and I was in a lot of pain, a lot of pain. And they couldn't actually give me, you know, strong medication for my pain because my blood pressure was still a little bit high, and my blood pressure was still a little bit high, and I was breastfeeding. And also, guys, I want you to know, when I was in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for 5 days, I think it was like every 2 hours, they were constantly poking me because they had to make sure that the medicine that they were putting me on, you know, I could have seizures basically from it. Oh my goodness, you're just a talker, my love. You're just a talker, my baby. They were constantly... You want to be in the video, my love? Yeah. Oh my god, guys. And basically, they were poking me every single 2 hours. They were poking me so much that I didn't even have no more blood to give. I mean, they were poking me in different places, like my elbow, like everywhere, to try to do to get blood out of me, because the medicine that they had me on would cause seizures, and because I had preeclampsia, it was very dangerous. So they had to make sure that my blood levels and everything were fine. So basically, you guys, I can't even concentrate. I can't. Oh my goodness, you are just a talker. And basically, he loves his little toy. His little toy that his tia Linda got him. Shout out to Linda. He loves it. He loves it. He'd be talking to these animals like, I don't know what he'd be telling them. But anyways, guys, it's so hard to concentrate. As you can see, I'm so obsessed and in love with my baby. Like, he's exactly what I needed. Exactly. So back to the story. I felt like I got run over by a bus. My body went through a lot. Because I pushed for 4 hours, my body completely went into trauma. I couldn't really walk, I couldn't really do anything, and to cut the story short, I was not able to pee after I delivered. And you know, they don't let you leave the hospital unless you pee, and you have to use, you know, the number 2. And I wasn't able to pee. This after I delivered, I went 8 hours without peeing, and it was to the point where it started to give me contractions. Even though I already had my baby, it gave me contractions in my stomach, and it hurt. It was so awful, guys, because I had liters of urine inside me and I wasn't able to pee on my own. So they had to put a catheter in, and then they drained me out, and after that it felt so good. Just to cut the story short, back and forth when I was in the hospital, I had catheter in, catheter out, and it hurt so bad. You guys, it hurts so bad. And if you guys are not familiar what a catheter is they have to put a tube inside where you urinate, and so they can flush all the urine out, and it hurt extremely bad. Well, that's not the end of it. The 5th day when I was at the hospital, I still wasn't able to urinate, and I don't know what it's called, but a urinologist, I don't know if I'm even saying it right, you know, he's a specialist in that. He came and saw me, and you know, he told me because I had such a tough labor and how I delivered and I pushed for 4 hours, my body completely shut down. And you know, he told me, you know, come back in a week and I'm sure you'll be able to pee again. We just want to give, you know, we want to give your body a break, and it takes a while for your body to back and recover. Well, guys, I went home with the catheter, and let me tell you, it was not fun. It was one of the worst things ever, especially you have to keep changing it in, changing it out. My body was in so much pain again because, like I told you guys, I pushed for 4 hours, and you know, I was breastfeeding, standing, doing it all, and I wasn't letting my body fully heal because they say, oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I teared. I got a second degree tear, and that means that you teared from the front all the way to the back. And in order to heal, you know, they say for you to be laying down, and I couldn't because I was breastfeeding. I wasn't taking the proper care to let my body heal, and that's not because I didn't want to. It's just because I had priorities, which was my baby, and I had to do what was best for my baby, and I had to come last. So I went 3 weeks with the catheter in me, guys. I couldn't pee, and I literally thought that I wasn't gonna ever pee again because it wasn't normal for me not to pee for 3 weeks. I eventually started to think, man, you know what, like I may never pee again. You know, I don't know why this is happening to my body. And let me tell you guys, when the last appointment that I went with the doctor and I was actually able to pee, oh my gosh, you guys, I was crying. And it just makes you appreciate things, you know, that you didn't even think. It's the biggest things. It's like a really big thing, but to us it's nothing. Like, it's little. Like the fact that my bladder was working okay again, I was so thankful. I was so grateful. I just prayed and prayed to God, like, you know what, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. And it just makes us appreciate, you know, that we're healthy, that we have arms, that we have a heart that functions, that we have a bladder that functions, that we're able to walk, that we're able to do things on our own. You know, I felt so sad and so depressed after I delivered because I wasn't able to be the best that I could be for my son. You know, because I constantly had to have someone with me 24/7 because of my catheter. You know, I had to walk around with the bag. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything, and I was in so much pain. I literally felt like I was like on a wheelchair, like I couldn't do anything. And after they took that catheter out, I was so happy. So yeah, guys, I went through a lot, and I would go into detail, but this video will be too long. But yeah, it was just not a good experience, and I always think about how I went through a lot, but I would do it all over again. If it meant to have my baby, I would do it all over again. So that is my story of how everything went. And just because it went like this for me doesn't mean it'll go like this for you guys, for all you new mommies out there. You know, everybody is different, everybody's different. I just recommend that you take care of yourself, you know, watch pressure, make sure everything's okay with you guys. So yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you guys why my baby's a miracle baby, and let me just go grab him. This is my bebecito. His name is David. And he's my miracle baby. Yeah, you're my miracle baby, my love. Yeah, tell everybody you're such a miracle. Bebecitos. Oh, my bebecitos. I love you. I love you. Oh, you're sleepy? Oh, you're sleepy. I love you. I love you, baby. I love my baby. Yeah, yeah. You guys, why my baby was a miracle baby. And I don't want to go into too much detail. Maybe that'll be a separate video. When I was 20 or 21, I stopped getting my menstrual cycle. Like, it was really weird. I didn't really know what had happened. I went to the doctor, and you know, I hadn't got my menstrual cycle in a long time. I was told that I was not able to have kids, and I heard it, you know, from a doctor, and she told me that I had I forgot what it was even called. I forgot exactly what it's called. Like I said, I'll do a separate video of what they told me I had, but it's basically where everything stops working and the inside, like, it's kind of like God, what is it called? Like, my ovaries and everything stop working. And she told me, you know, like, you won't be able to have kids. And you guys, I love kids. I love kids so much, and it was heartbreaking to hear, especially at, you know, such a young age. I couldn't believe it. My dream was, you know, to build a family, you know, and have children, and I couldn't believe it. And you know, I told my mom, and we went to go see a specialist in Modesto. And the doctor, he told me, he just flat out told me very bluntly, you know, like, he saw, you know, what I had, and that my ovaries, you know, completely stopped working. And he straight up told me, like, you will never have kids. This is exactly what he said. You will never have kids. You there's no way you will have kids on your own. You either are gonna have to adopt, or whoever you're with, your partner, and you have to get someone else, so it will be his egg and the other person's egg, and that's the only way you'll be able to have kids. But inside you growing, you know, a baby inside you, you won't. And if you ever do get pregnant, it will be a really bad pregnancy. It's almost impossible, but you won't be able to ever have kids. And I just remember completely breaking down, and I just couldn't believe it, you guys. I couldn't believe it. And I'm just gonna cut it there, you know, because I don't want this video to be too long. It'll be a separate video by two doctors that I was never able to have kids ever. They both said it to me. And these years, I'm 27 now, you know, I thought to myself, man, like, I can't believe like I'm not gonna have kids. Like, I couldn't believe it. And you know, for a second, for a while, I want to say, I believed them. I believed them, and I believed what they said was true. And during halfway of my time now that I'm 27, you know, I completely changed. I changed, and lots of things in my life changed, and for the better. I was a lot more happier. I took a lot of toxic people out of my life, and I was finally in a good place in my life. And I was doing things for me, for my happiness, and things that were better for my health. And I truly believed, and I believed in God, and I believed that things were going to change for me. And I believed, I just threw what they said out, and I never talked about it again. And only the people closest to me that were in my life at that time, and my closest people, know, you know, what was said to me. But in the halfway of my life, I'm just like, halfway through the years, I just threw it out what they said, and I never repeated it. I never repeated it, because if me saying it out loud, what they said, it's like if I'm believing to myself, I'm not gonna even say it. I'm not gonna speak on it, because that's not true. And It's not true. And, you know, I know my God is great and I know my God is good. I'm burping him, guys. So, I know my God is great and I know my God is good, and I believed and I prayed, guys. And I changed my mind around, and things started to fall into place, and I got blessed, and I ended up getting pregnant. And if you guys watch my pregnancy video of my life update of how I was emotional, that's why I was so emotional, because I couldn't believe it. And if you guys, you know, watch it, and I tell you guys that I was almost 100% certain that I wasn't pregnant, because, you know, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And, you know, I'm just here to, why I'm sharing this with you guys and why I want to spread the word is I'm here to tell you guys that, you know, you have to have faith and you can't stop believing. And, you know, if you're in a bad place in your life and you're around negative people and you're around toxic relationships and you're around, you know, things that don't serve a purpose or make you a better person, and you're not happy, you can change that around. You know, I just feel like positive vibes and positive energy has so much to do with it. And I truly believe that I got pregnant because of my faith in God, and because I changed my life around, and because I surrounded myself with positive things and positive people, and I left behind things that no longer served a purpose in my life. And, you know, I left things behind that I feel were weighing me down, and I left things behind that really there was no need for them to be in my life. And I'm here to tell you guys, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because I want to tell you guys that, what do we want to tell them? Huh? I just want to tell you guys that the doctors don't get the last word. The doctors don't get the last word, and just have faith. Have faith, because I was told that I would never be able to have or conceive kids on my own. And look at him. My baby's here. My baby's healthy. And regardless of what I went through, I would do it all over again if it meant to have him. Oh. Yeah. Yes. Huh. Yes, my little miracle baby. And I'm here to tell you guys, I just want to send a message to anyone watching this. Anything that you truly want, you know, don't lose sight, don't lose faith. You know, pray and do what's best for you, and do what's best for your mind, your mindset, because your mindset is everything, guys, everything. And I just want to let you guys know, you know, dreams do come true. They really, really do. And thank you guys so much for watching. This was very emotional for me, as you guys can see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn that bell so you can be notified every time I do post. And thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.